bunch of newbies in here, but it does look like some of them have multiple teams, so we'll just try to introduce them once. Thank you to Trey for joining us, Steve for joining us, Kevin with a bunch of different teams, Brent with the Los Angeles Angels, Nicole joining us with the New York Yankees, in addition to some other teams, and then Jay with the Tampa Bay Rays and some other teams as well. Thank you for joining us for the first time. Let's get ripping right here. Let's go chasing some refractors and some autos. Alrighty. We have the Austin Meadows of the Tampa Bay Rays, followed up by a Matt Olson of the Oakland Athletics. And we're going to have the refractor, Kevin Biggio of the Toronto Blue Jays right there. And that is going to be heading to Benjamin, followed up by Sin-Cho Chu of the Texas Rangers. Then we have a little Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers, followed by Albert Pujols of the Los Angeles Angels. And then we are going to have a 35th anniversary edition, and that is Mr. Fernando Tatis Jr. of the San Diego Padres, and that is heading to Kevin right there. Nice hit right there with that 35th anniversary edition. And then we have a Tanner Houck RC of the Boston Red Sox headed to Mr. CEO. Hey, John, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Alrighty, then we have a little George Springer to get started of the Astros, followed by a little Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals. And here it goes. Our rookie auto is going to be Tyson Miller of the Chicago Cubs. And that is going to be heading to Cynthia. Nice hit right there. A little Chicago Cub for the win. Then we have a Chris Paddock of the San Diego Padres right there to get things rolling. We have Jose Abreu of the White Sox, Jock Peterson of the Dodgers, a silver refractor, Willie Adams of the Tampa Bay Rays, followed by a Ryan Mountcastle RC, Ryan Mountcastle of the Baltimore Orioles, and that is heading to Trey. We have Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians, a Christian Javier RC of the Houston Astros to Kevin, and then we have a Prism Rhys Hoskins of the Philadelphia Phillies going to Nicole, and we're following that up with Jacob deGrom of the New York Mets. Brandon Lowe of the Rays, followed by Gleyber Torres of the Yankees. A little Future Stars Nick Solak of the Texas Rangers headed to Kevin. Nice hit right there. A little second baseman for the Texas Rangers. And then we have a Tristan McKenzie RC of the Cleveland Guardians headed to Christopher. Yeah, it seems like the photo is making it look extremely long. We have Brady Singer RC of the Kansas City Royals going to Kevin, followed up by Chris Sale of the Red Sox. A refractor Luis Diaz of the Miami Marlins going to Benjamin, followed by Kyle Seager of the Seattle Mariners. Then we're going to go with the Nick Castellanos of the Reds, a Sixto Sanchez RC of the Miami Marlins, followed by a 35th anniversary edition Pete Alonso of the New York Mets going to Kevin. And then we have a Kyber Ruiz RC of the Dodgers heading to Kevin as well. Walker Buehler of the Dodgers, Ryan Weathers RC of the San Diego Padres going to Kevin. Following that up with a Future Stars, Mike Abruzzo of the Tampa Bay Rays going to Jay. And then we have a Mike Yastrzemski of the San Francisco Giants. Mike Yastrzemski of the San Francisco Giants. And folks, we have 2 basketball breaks coming up at the end of our first round of pre-scheduled breaks, and we still have a couple teams available there. And I would tend to believe that you will get them cheaper buying them right now than you would normally if you wait to have them auction off. John Means of the Orioles, Carlos Correa of the Astros. We have a Mike Moustakas of the Cincinnati Reds refractor headed to Cynthia. Following that up with a David Peterson RC of the Mets going to Kevin. Thank you, Spangs. Great to see you back. We have a little Rogden Odor of the Rangers, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. of the Rays, a Prism Adonis Medina RC of the Philadelphia Phillies headed to Nicole, followed by Victor Robles of the Washington Nationals. Kevin Newman of the Pirates, Zach Greinke of the Astros, a baseball David Ortiz, a Dominican Republic version of the Boston Red Sox headed to Mr. CEO. And then we're going to have a Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees right there, and that is going to be heading to Nicole. Will Smith of the Dodgers, followed by Marcell Ozuna of the Braves, a Future Stars Jesus Luzardo of the Oakland Athletics going to Christopher, and then Luis Castillo of the Cincinnati Reds. We have Andres Jimenez of the New York Mets going to Kevin, followed by Ramon Laureano of the Athletics, a refractor Shane McCallahan of the Tampa Bay Rays going to Jay, and then Wilson Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. Trevor Story of the Rockies, a Nick Montagrill RC of the Red Sox, followed by a Prism Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers going to Melissa, followed by a little Adalberto Mondesi of the Kansas City Royals. And And I'm sorry, I think I said Red Sox for Nick Montagrill, but those are the White Sox. We're going to have a little Luis Araz of the Twins, followed by Lance McCullens of the Astros, baseball Yasmani Grandal of the Chicago White Sox, headed to Steve, followed by Yadier Molina of the St. Louis Cardinals. Wilson Ramos of the Mets, Chris Bumich, RC of the Kansas City Royals, headed to Kevin. Refractor Luis Brinson of the Miami Marlins, followed up by Willie Adams of the Tampa Bay Rays. Then we have an Evan Longoria of the San Francisco Giants, followed by a Casey Mize, RC of the Detroit Tigers. And then a 35th anniversary edition Xander Bogaerts of the Boston Red Sox to Mr. CEO. Following that up with Trevor Bauer of the Reds. And we have 2, 4, 6 packs left right here. It's 24 cards. Joey Votto of the Reds, Javier Baez of the Cubs, a refractor Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves, and that's headed to Ben, followed by Evan White, RC of the Seattle Mariners, and that is going to Nicole. And folks, if you like baseball, take advantage of my birthday discounts for 32% off the Bowman Chrome releases. Bowman Chrome has released today, and we've got, I think, 2 breaks on the schedule right now, and then we have 4 more boxes available to break this evening. Whit Merrifield of the Kansas City Royals, and it looks like we have a Ketel Marte, and that is going to be a little gold wave out of 50. Gold wave out of 50 of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that is heading to Mr. CEO, followed by a 35th anniversary edition of Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves going to Ben. And then we have Jeff McNeil of the Mets. We have Alex Bregman of the Astros, Eric Hosmer of the Padres, and our next rookie auto, that's going to be Letty Tavares of the Texas Rangers. And that is going to be heading to Kevin. Right there. And we're going to follow that up with a little Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox. And we have 3 packs left here in this one. A little Braylon Marquez of the Chicago Cubs headed to Cynthia. And then we're going to have that purple. And that is going to be out of 299. The 299 Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers going to Melissa. Following that up with Justin Upton of the Los Angeles Angels going to Brent. And Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros. We are not going to have a show tomorrow. Our next show is Friday. We did not have one yesterday. We're going to move away from the daytime shows for the fall. Bryce Harper of the Phillies, followed by a little William Contreras RC of the Atlanta Braves, headed to Ben. Following that up with Charlie Blackmon, and that's a prism of the Colorado Rockies right there. And then JT Realmuto of the Phillies. Manny Machado of the Padres, followed by a Sam Huff RC of the Texas Rangers, and then a Prezimio Power William Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. And that is going to be heading to Cynthia right there. Nice hit right there. Headed to Cynthia. And last but not least, it is Kevin Biggio of the Toronto Blue Jays headed to Ben. All right, let's run down these rookies. We have Sam Huff of the Texas Rangers, followed up by William Contreras of the Atlanta Braves, a little Braylon Marquez of the Cubs, Evan White of the Mariners, Casey Mize of the Tigers, Chris Bubich of the Kansas City Royals, Nick Montagrill of the White Sox, a refractor Shane McCallahan of the Tampa Bay Rays, Andres Jimenez of the Mets, a prism Adonis Medina of the Phillies, David Peterson of the Mets. Then we have Ryan Weathers of the Padres, Keibert Ruiz of the Dodgers, Sixto Sanchez of the Miami Marlins, a refractor Luis Diaz of the Marlins, followed by Brady Singer of the Royals, Tristan McKenzie of the Guardians, Christian Javier of the Astros, Ryan Mountcastle of the Orioles, and Tanner Hook of the Boston Red Sox. And now on to our featured cards. Two of our better inserts, we have the 35th anniversary edition Fernando Tatis Jr. and then a little baseball, David Ortiz of the of the Boston Red Sox. Then we're going to have the gold refractor out of 50. That's Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's going to be 18 out of 50 heading to Mr. CEO. And then last but not least are our two rookie autos. We have Tyson Miller of the Chicago Cubs headed to Cynthia, and Letty Traveris of the Texas Rangers are heading to Kevin. Alrighty, folks. With that, we are done with break 1370. We will be right back from BT Field with some football.